I can't shake the feeling that their first day in Paris left behind clues that are still generating buzz. It all started with those pictures of Jimin and Jungkook walking together, sharing small, seemingly natural gestures. Then came those silent glances that lingered longer than usual, followed by smiles neither could hide. And just when we thought we'd seen it all, Jungkook surprised us again, revealing his two sides in a matter of seconds, shifting from a powerful energy to that endearing sweet demeanor. But the moment that sparked the most discussion was that look over his glasses, accompanied by an impossible-to-ignore smile. And to top it all off, the normal video gave us a scene that reignited the conversations. Stay tuned until the end because we're going to analyze every detail. When we see Jimin and Jungkook on the first day of the concert, the first thing that stands out is how close they are at all times. Jimin doesn't leave Jungkook's side and always tries to be by his side, which is very important for those of us who follow their relationship. What stands out most is seeing Jimin's hand resting on Jungkook's shoulder as they walk across the stage. It's a gesture they make with complete trust, as if they were in their own home and not in front of thousands of people. They walk in step, side by side, demonstrating that their connection is something they carry with them naturally. For us, those who love seeing them together, these are the moments that are truly worthwhile because they confirm how well they get along as a couple. Nothing big or out of the ordinary needs to happen to understand what's going on between them. It's enough to observe how they look out for each other and how they seek physical closeness during the show. The way Jimin positions himself close to Jungkook, accompanying him every step of the way, makes it clear that their relationship is solid. Every time they act like this, they show us why they're the couple that captivates us all. There's no doubt that when Jimin puts his hand on Jungkook's shoulder, he's marking a territory of affection and tenderness that only they share. These kinds of details make all the difference, because they aren't forced situations, but rather the way they choose to present themselves to the world. During the first day of the concert in Paris, Jimin and Jungkook shared a moment that left us all deeply moved as they gazed at each other. It was striking to see them lock eyes for several seconds, as if the rest of the venue and the people there simply vanished from their field of vision. They stood there, staring intently, oblivious to everything else but that glance that held their complete attention. It was a real and direct moment that confirmed the connection between them, serving as a clear indication of what they felt when they were alone together in front of the crowd. After that time of looking at each other without saying a word, a smile began to spread across both their lips simultaneously. It was a very special moment because neither of them could hold the gaze any longer, and that's when they shared that shy laughter. This reaction is very common among those who are flirting and share a secret understanding that no one else understands. It's so exciting to witness these moments, because they tell us so much more than anything we could imagine. Jimin and Jungkook show us, through their laughter and their gazes, that their relationship is alive and present. Every time one can't hold the other's gaze and ends up laughing, it's direct proof that there's something very deep between them. As fans who always observe their actions, we feel happy to see that their affection is still there, strong and clear at every concert. It's those moments, full of glances and smiles, that confirm why Jikook is the most real and special couple of all. Jungkook is someone who always surprises us because he can go from being a bad boy to someone incredibly sweet in the blink of an eye. When he's on stage, his gaze is intense, and it's clear he commands the entire space with an incredible presence. It's as if the stage belongs to him, and he knows exactly how to keep everyone's attention. This way of performing makes us feel the power he possesses, or it's evident he has total control over what he does in front of thousands of people. Then, in a second, that part of him we call our butterfly emerges, with those soft, subtle movements that only he knows how to make. It's incredible to see how his personality changes so quickly and completely captivates us, because he goes from intensity to sweetness effortlessly. This way of being is what makes him so special to us, because he doesn't try to be someone else, he's simply himself. For those of us who follow his story, this transformation of Jungkook is simply perfect because it lets us see all his facets. He manages to be someone who impresses with his attitude, but also someone fun and carefree when he's around Jimin. That's what makes us fall even more in love with him, because he's authentic in every facet he shows. Seeing our butterfly, who also knows how to be that bad boy when the moment calls for it, is one of the reasons why we can't stop watching his every move, always maintaining that unique essence that accompanies him. On the first day of the concert in Paris, a moment of pure complicity unfolded between Jimin and Jungkook. Jungkook held Jimin's gaze, lowering his head slightly to peer over his sunglasses as he approached. It was a very specific and direct movement that captured our attention, because in that instant, the rest of the stage ceased to matter. Jungkook's gesture, combined with the way Jimin approached, confirmed once again the close connection they share when performing in front of an audience. After that exchange of glances, Jungkook gave a small, satisfied smile that said it all. It's the kind of moment that lasts only a few seconds but stays etched in our memory because it tells us so much more than any longer interaction. Jungkook's smile after observing Jimin like that leaves no doubt about what they were sharing in that moment. And so, this small moment became yet another example of the flirtation between our Jikook couple. We don't need to see grand gestures to understand their feelings, because it's precisely these subtle actions that demonstrate the genuineness of their relationship. Watching them interact like this, with glances exchanged behind their glasses and smiles of contentment, is what makes us so happy to witness their story. For us, this is the most beautiful proof that Jimin and Jungkook always find a way to connect, simply being themselves in every performance. In the newly released music video for Normal, we encounter a scene that captures our attention from the very first second. The image of Jungkook, completely soaked, launching himself directly toward Jimin, who appears shirtless before him, is a moment that left us all breathless. What stands out here is Jungkook's clear intention. It's not a random movement, but a direct shift toward the place where he knows he wants to be. For those of us who follow their story, this scene is a visual reminder that, for them, physical closeness is something that happens naturally and constantly. Analyzing this moment, what is most surprising is the ease with which Jungkook seeks that contact with Jimin. There are no doubts, no hesitations, no attempts to maintain a professional distance in front of the camera. That impulse to launch himself toward him, both being in such a public situation, confirms that the connection they share is a real and everyday occurrence. Jungkook simply heads to his comfort zone, which is, without a doubt, the space where Jimin is. It's a moment of great intensity that reflects how completely free they both feel to be together, regardless of their surroundings. If we look closely at the details, it's clear that this closeness goes beyond any requirement of the video. The way Jungkook leans towards Jimin conveys a complicity that only exists in a solid and genuine relationship. It's not a rehearsed performance, but a genuine reaction that arises when they have the opportunity to share the same frame. It's these kinds of direct gestures that give us the clearest signs that, when they're together, they become each other's support and refuge, maintaining the harmony that characterizes them in any situation. Furthermore, it's fascinating to note how, despite being surrounded by the entire production crew, they manage to create their own bubble. The way Jimin receives this approach without surprise shows us that these kinds of interactions are the norm in their daily lives. It's as if the rest of the set disappears, leaving only the two of them, confirming that their bond is the absolute priority in every moment they spend together. This scene is not only visually striking but also communicates their security as a couple. They demonstrate, without words, that nothing and no one can disrupt the closeness they have built. Watching this scene is a complete confirmation of what we have always observed. No matter how many times others try to separate them or what they say, they always return to where they were happy. Jungkook's movement toward Jimin is not a coincidence. It is proof that their relationship is a strong bond that keeps them together at all times. For us as fans, seeing this is what makes us continue to support them so strongly, because they themselves show us, with concrete actions, that their place is by each other's side. In the middle of one of his most important performances, Jimin paused for a moment, completely overwhelmed by the sheer size of the audience before him. He was so astonished by that sea of lights and people that he immediately pulled out his phone to capture that unforgettable moment. Watching Jimin in that precise instant allowed us to see a very human and sincere side of him. He wasn't just an artist on stage, but someone who deeply valued the presence of every single person there. The smile that spread across his face and the sparkle in his eyes upon seeing the packed stadium are the clearest proof of the happiness he felt realizing that all his hard work had touched the hearts of so many fans. For us, seeing Jimin so moved is a personal experience. After all the time and work they've dedicated to getting where they are, finding such a massive audience singing along to every word must be a feeling difficult to put into words. That moment of connection between Jimin and the thousands of people present speaks volumes about the respect and affection he has for his fans. It wasn't just a quick act, but a necessary pause where he took the time to absorb the reality of what they were experiencing, acknowledging the constant support they receive at every step of their career. This is one of those moments that we're sure will be forever etched in his memory, as well as in ours. It's a turning point, because it shows us that, despite the years and the success, Jimin maintains that special sensitivity to recognize the importance of each person who listens to them. Seeing him enjoy that moment so genuinely confirms why we feel so connected to him. His happiness isn't something that can be faked, it's a direct response to the atmosphere at the concert, and for those of us supporting him from the outside, seeing him like this is the greatest reward we can receive. Furthermore, when we analyze the significance of this event, we realize that moments like these are what define his career. The way Jimin makes sure to capture the memory is a sign that he wants to preserve that energy to revisit it whenever he needs it. It's a gesture of gratitude towards all those who had believed in him and joined him on his journey. At the end of the day, what remains is the image of an artist who, despite his fame, still finds a way to feel emotion as if it were the first time. Seeing him fulfilled, smiling, and connected with his audience is, for all of us, confirmation that Jimin is living his dreams surrounded by people who value his total dedication in every performance. During one of his live performances, we witnessed a moment that touched us deeply with its naturalness. In the middle of the show, Jimin focused his attention on a specific section of the audience, where a young fan was seated. Without hesitation, Jimin decided to make a very generous gesture by personally giving the boy the shirt he was wearing at that moment. Watching the little boy receive the gift allowed us to see the pure surprise and happiness on his face, a moment that will surely remain etched in his memory as something truly unique. This act is a direct reflection of Jimin's personality, who, despite being in front of thousands of people, maintains the ability to notice the details and connect individually with those who support him. For those of us who follow Jimin's career, these kinds of actions aren't entirely surprising, but they do reaffirm why we have so much respect and affection for him. It's important to note that this wasn't a planned action to attract the attention of the cameras, but rather a genuine response born from his own willingness to share. A gift of this nature, coming directly from someone a child admires so much, instantly becomes a lifelong memory. This act demonstrates that Jimin is very aware that, beyond fame and the stage, there is a human connection with each fan who dedicates their time and effort to be there, supporting him every step of the way in his career. The way Jimin interacts with his fans during these massive events truly sets him apart as an artist. While a concert is usually a high-energy, fast-paced affair, Jimin manages to stop time for a moment to focus on a gesture of pure kindness. Seeing this child's happiness was, in itself, a moving experience for everyone watching the broadcast. Those few seconds of interaction not only made the day special for that little boy but also reminded all of us fans of the warmth Jimin always strives to convey. His willingness to be kind and approachable, even under the pressure of a performance, is what makes him so beloved by people of all ages. Furthermore, this episode reveals another important facet of his character, gratitude. Jimin fully understands that his success depends on the constant affection of his fans, and this gift is his way of returning a small part of that energy he receives from the stands. He doesn't seek recognition, he simply acts according to what he feels in that moment, giving something personal to whoever needs it most at that time. It's a reminder that his heart remains that of a grateful and thoughtful person, capable of seeing the joy of a child in a sea of people. For us, seeing Jimin act with such nobility is the best confirmation that we are following someone who stands out not only for his talent but also for the quality of his being.